I've been making quite a few bottle stoppers right now lately, so I thought maybe you guys would like to know how I make my bottle stoppers. I've gotten a lot better at it. I'll show you the way I do it and some of the tools that I'm using and basically how I do it. So this one is an acrylic blank that I cast last night. It's an aluminite casting and a little bit of burl in it, so it should be interesting. Each one of these is interesting, so anyway, I'll show you how that works, so stick around. Some of the few items that you're going to need to make your bottle stopper. We're going to need a Jacob's chuck, 11/32 drill bit in this case, because we're making a 3/8 bottle stopper. So it takes a 3/8 mandrel, 16 TPI. I'm also using a tap for that. Makes it a little bit easier for when you're taking it off and back on, so it doesn't mess up the threads, and it always stays tight that way. I'm also using a chuck for this because I will go ahead and drill my hole after I've flattened this end out. So that's what we're going to do right now. So let's get started on that. Alright, so now we're going to drill it out after we turn this nice and flat. Now I just put a little stop on here with the tape because you just need to get close to it. That's about it. So then you're left with a nice hole. So let's go back over to the lathe and we'll tap that back out. What I do on this is I basically hold the item so that I know that it's straight this up and down, and then I just rotate it by hand to tap it. So I'm basically holding it like this and pressing slightly, and it starts tapping it on there. Nothing fancy. I mean, you can do it other ways, but this will ensure that you get a fairly straight tap job onto this. So. And then now that it's already on, I can go ahead and turn it all the way. Should be good. And then I bottom it out, bring it back off. So, and now we should be good. So, nice clean hole. Now we'll change this for our mandrel. Okay, now he should be nice and tight on there. Sometimes it makes some funky noises though when you got leather on there, so let's see what it does. Yeah, kind of like that. So, just barely touch it. There we go. So anyway, now we're gonna get started. Now I didn't talk about the blades on these. This actually cuts really well. I prefer the standard tools, but on this occasion when I'm doing acrylic, there is a, see if you can see that. There is a -degree angle on the edge of this carbide blade. Now, this is an easy wood, but I'm sure there's probably other ones that have this as well, but it keeps it so that whenever you start turning it,
that it doesn't allow it to grab, which it will do on acrylic a lot. It just doesn't work well unless you have this negative angle on there. So anyway, let's get started on that. So. I'm going to go ahead and show you something here. So that's what it looks like. Now I always put a nut on here, and you have to buy several of these. This is a 3/8 16 TPI thread, but when you thread it on here, what it does is it allows you to bump this up and gives you more space in between here, and I'll show you how that works. So like see if I can get this. So right here, this sits up a lot higher, and so what happens is you can't get down tight on this area. So what I did is put the nut on there. When I mean you have to buy several of these is I've threaded a few on there, and then whenever I turn the machine on, it just wobbles. So let me kick the machine on. But it's almost completely balanced even with that nut on. So that's what you kind of want, because then you have to finish turning just a little edge right here. So and of course I'm going to start wet sanding it a little bit, making it look a lot better. And then I'm going to CA this part right here all the way up into about right here, and then we'll start polishing it. So, and then we'll see what it looks like when it's done. So I'm going to take some of this thin Starbond, and I have the lathe running in reverse right now because I'm going to be going over the top right here. Let me bring that. We'll put some CA on there. When I'm coming from this direction, I like to go with it in reverse and then normal direction to come back this way. So anyway, we'll let that dry a little. Alright. And that looks good. Put one more coat on there, and then we'll start sanding this out. And then I'm using some stick fast activator. So alright. So it looks pretty shiny right now. And then of course we're going to sand this up. And then I'll put another coat on here at the very end. But anyway, that's kind of what it looks like now. It's nice and shiny.